Ayo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Alvin Mike from L.T.A, aka Let's Talk About It. And let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers and some moves they're making in this offseason. Now, for those of you that are unaware, last night, the Los Angeles Lakers officially agreed to a deal with Marcus Smart on a 2-year contract with a second-year option, paying $11 million. And in my personal opinion, this might be the best move the Lakers have made in the entirety of this offseason. Yes, I do know they signed Jake LaRavia. They also signed DeAndre Ayton, which addressed the big hole and the fact of they were lacking big man presence ever since getting rid of Anthony Davis. And obviously Jackson Hayes just wasn't cutting it completely. But I still believe this is the best pickup they've made. Now, for those of you who might think that, we're running this based off titles, because if you don't know, Marcus Smart was the 2022 Defensive Player of the Year, and after that, he saw himself basically get traded from Boston a year later, where he ended up in Memphis, and then obviously started the 2024 to 2025 season playing in Memphis before being moved over to the Washington Wizards, where we saw him finish this season. Now, the reason for picking up Marcus Smart is as simple as this. The Lakers are in dire need of an elite point defender. And by that, I mean a guy who can basically get out on the perimeter and defend about as well as he possibly can, which if you don't know Marcus Smart, who in my personal opinion is highly underrated when it comes to it, he is one of the best point defenders we will see, mainly because he's got a knack for chasing the ball, and defensively he has an IQ in regards of being smart enough to stay in front of you and not dumb enough to reach on everything he sees, whilst also having the capabilities of trapping big men when he sees them locking up in the post in ways that some other guards possibly can't. Now, is he the best option they could have picked up for this offseason? I don't know, because the other issue is Gary Peyton II is also available as a free agent, and I don't know, between him and Marcus Smart, I'd have been leaning a little bit more towards him, just because for Marcus Smart's decision, he has only played 34 games last season, and the season before played about 30, which gives some injury worries, but he does bring the ability in regards of when he is healthy. Defensively, he's way better than Gary Peyton II. And if anything, he fills a bigger hole for the Lakers than DeAndre Ayton, because if you look at the West and how it's currently stacked out standing-wise, we have it that at the top of the bracket is obviously OKC, who have SGA playing the point guard, which means, one, that's a guard you need to match up against perfectly. At second, we've got the Rockets, who've got Fred VanVleet, who's not as much of a threat, but you've also got Kevin Durant. But fortunately for the Lakers, they have LeBron, who can match up against them in a nice manner. Obviously, with Denver, the big point of attack is Nikola Jokic. You won't find anyone who's got the greatest capability of defending him, in which case, your next best option is to try and neutralize Jamal Murray. And then on the Clippers, James Harden needs to be neutralized. On the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards. On the Warriors, Steph. And obviously on the Grizzlies, you've got John Morant. And then we're going to talk about the Mavericks. You need to guard Kyrie Irving. So again, you need a point defender. And we won't worry about the Kings because, Zach LaVine makes all the sense, but again, he's not a guy who exactly gets the team super going. He's just a guy who gets buckets. So that's why I believe this Marcus Smart pickup happens to be the best, because yes, the Lakers were lacking defensively at the perimeter. Every time they were in the playoffs, you would notice that it was a situation whereby other teams were low-key hunting Luka Doncic, mainly because the starting lineups mainly conceded of having Luka Doncic and Austin Rivers at the 1 and the 2, which no cruelty to both of them boys, but yeah, that is an offensive player's dream if you're at the guard position, because both of them can't defend that well, with Austin Reeves being the better defender, which says a lot because he's not that great of a defender. So having someone like Marcus Smart be on the team allows you that capability of being able to shift Luka back to his original positioning of small forward, which of course means that majority of guards won't be able to pick on him. It does mean the likes of Jalen Williams and Cole will be able to go at him, but again, you can easily just keep shifting him around because Marcus Smart does have the ability to guard from the 1 to the 3, in my personal opinion. At the 3, it's a thing whereby if he comes up against a strength matchup, he is kind of screwed, but physically he can guard that position. So, again, best pickup the Lakers have made this offseason. Someone said the funniest thing about it is, if you really think about it, the Lakers have basically gotten rid of Dorian Finney-Smith and it's $55 million, and in return managed to acquire DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart for the price of him, which it shows that since the Lakers have been bought, the new owners basically have a new mentality, and the mentality is they want to win. Now, the only negative with picking up Marcus Smart is this does mean for you brawny sexuals that Bronny's minutes are about to go down. mainly because actually they might stay the same because they might shift Marcus Smart to the starting lineup. I do see that as a perfect lineup where you have Marcus Smart, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic at the 3, LeBron at the 4, and then of course DeAndre Ayton at the 5. Even though Marcus Smart will be listed in as the 1, you'll most likely have Luka Doncic lead the offense, which allows a lot more room. And then defensively, you'll just have it that Marcus Smart picks up the 1, in which case it allows Luka to hide a little bit on the defensive side of things. Because in any normal lineup that we see outside of maybe the Nuggets, it's usually the point guard bringing up the ball, in which case if Marcus Smart's defending, it allows a little bit of a pickup at a higher point in regards to the pressure you apply to the guard. And then, of course, if it's a situation whereby they still try and hunt Luka, they'll be running a lot of pick and roll situations, in which case Marcus Smart will most likely fight through the screens or, if anything, go over them just to not allow that sort of a switch. So, yeah, great pickup by the Lakers. I hope to see how this emphasizes during the regular season. The only worry I have from this is Marcus Smart is a bit injury prone. If anything, had I been the Lakers, I might have chased picking up Jrue Holiday, mainly because even though he's old and you won't get as much out of him longevity-wise, he does allow you the benefit of LeBron's got about 2 to 3 years left before he officially retires, so that's all you need, and in my personal opinion, that's what Jrue can get you. But again, the asking price might have been a bit too high, in which case picking up someone like Marcus Smart, who a lot of people are sleeping on, makes a lot of sense for you, and it allows you a lot of room to grow. Now, there is still a lot more for the Lakers to address in regards to their bench, because Dalton Connect isn't cutting it. Rui Hachimura can support you here and there, and Bronny James, he's good, whereby he's the type of guy you can rely on to bring the ball up and get it to players who need the ball to get going, but he's not good enough where you can let him be the floor general of your team. So again, they need to address a lot when it comes to the bench, because yeah, this pickup is great for the starting lineup, but bench-wise and bench depth, I do think the Lakers will still struggle. They'll make it through the first round with ease just off the strength of their starting lineup, but making it through that second round of the playoffs, that's a whole different monster in which we got to wait and see. There's a little bit of time left to the offseason with some players that can still pick up. I heard they're in the works to get Gary Peyton II, which will really help with that whole depth situation. But they also need to then focus on picking up some guys who can score off the bench. Because, yeah, Jackson Hayes is a great rebounder, but you need someone else to score besides just hoping for Dalton Connect and Rui Hachimura to really get it going. Because Jared Vanderbilt can't score. Jackson Hayes really isn't that great of a scorer. And as we already pointed out, Bronny James just ain't the guy for it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, which if you did, don't forget to do me a favor and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But yeah, it's been your boy Alvin Mike. Don't forget, hit that like button. We'll be out with a new video soon. I'm glad to see Dame went back to Portland. Deuces.